So if anyone wants to watch it. But yeah,
Sophia,
essentially, sorry?
I was just going to say the Sophia series is been so amazing. Thank you. I just want to say thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. Very welcome. Um, we loved creating it. I love whenever, oh, we got someone else coming in. I'm going to turn my waiting room off inside of here so that I'm not playing with it. Um, yeah, so inside of Breath of God, what I typically do is I look up the astrology, which has been very much the themes have been very similar. We did our beautiful moon ritual on for full moon, and it was all about, what are the masks that you're still wearing that are keeping you from embodying it and what it is that you want. I'm just gonna mute. Um, and then I always pull up the Catholic liturgy because I am coming from a Catholic background and I always find it so fascinating. And I always love when it just like lines up in a way that I'm like, ah, the cosmos as within, so without, as above, so below. Like everything always just lines up so beautifully when you have the eyes to see it. And so let's talk about it. And then we'll do a little bit of a breathwork session. And then afterwards, I'll pop off of the live that's on Instagram. Um, and then we can have a little bit of a discussion in the community as well. Hi to anyone who's watching on Instagram as well. Hi, Adam. Adam Project. So yeah, we're going to talk a little bit first before we start about the astrology, because as we know, in 3 days we have this solar eclipse, and the energy, and we've got like Aquarius South Node. We're really being asked because Aquarius North Node, South Node, Leo. We're really being asked the light that you're bringing forth. What is blocking it? I think that's the biggest thing. And frig, I can't even make this up. This morning I had someone send me this carousel, and it was so centered around like when you surrender to God, and when you have when you have this connection with the Yeshua or God or whatever you're calling it, that all of a sudden you're in alignment and nothing can attack you. But then at the end it was like, but I'm being attacked right now and I can't go and channel at this moment. And I was like, do we see the dissonance here? Like, do we see how, and that's what we're really being called to look at is, I think it's easy in like the spiritual awakening and the experience and the meditation in life when you're having this beautiful connection to the divine where you're like, oh my God, this is real. And you're taking these like faithful steps. And then all of a sudden life comes in, the storm comes in, you're like, oh, but maybe I'm still scared. And I think that's where a lot of us get stuck is we have these beautiful spiritual experiences. We understand the thing. And then when life comes in with the initiation and it says, okay, well, but do you really want this? Are you really going to walk the walk where you believe that we are all one energy? Do you do it? And it's going to get really loud. And for me, it has gotten really loud, not only for myself as I'm in this like transitionary period where we're making this huge leap. It's not necessarily identity, but I feel like it is still very identity based. And we're moving, right? Like we're trying to get everything in alignment to move across an ocean. And I have known I was going to do this for quite a while. I've known, not exactly where we would land, but I've known for about 12 months, but I haven't been acting from the place that knows this thing. I might say it. I might say it to people like, oh, I want to do this thing, but I'm not walking the walk of that. So it's become really obvious for me, but I think it's becoming really obvious for anyone who's witnessing and watching the spiritual community, because you're going to start to see a lot of people right now collectively that have been talking the talk. And then all of a sudden you're like, huh. They might say we're all one, but then there's demons after us and there's this after us and there's no sovereignty in it. And so that to me is it's the big theme this week, especially with the eclipse, but like just it's the big theme of North Node, South Node that's going to be in our face and impossible to ignore. Okay, you know what you want, you know what your core belief is, but when the real life initiation comes in, are you actually acting from it? Are you actually going to still walk the walk of that? And for me, I posted this morning a carousel that was about the archons because that's a very common one for anyone who deconstructs and comes out of any sort of religion, but especially Christianity, and then goes to the other side and they find those Gnostic texts and they're like, oh my God, now this is the truth and this is the absolute truth. And now they're like, oh, it's archons that are creating all of this, that have us under our control. So then every time the initiation hits and you're like, oh, it's the archons that are attacking me, I need to retreat. You don't need to retreat. You need to stand firmly in the belief that you are divinely connected always. So you need to actually release that belief that they could even have power over you in the first place. And that's where we really are. We're at this like big pivotal moment because you know what your light is that's shining. You know whatever that Leo is, but what is this like? Also with Leo, it's very performative. What are the masks that we're still wearing? What is the identity that we've constructed to perform in front of the masses? What is actually stopping this from working? And you're going to see a lot of dissonance, I think, probably in all aspects of life, but especially in the spiritual community where, I mean, I've been seeing it for a really long time, but it's just getting louder and louder where you can say we are all one and we are all one energy. We're all connected. We're all love and all this stuff. But there is still something that can have power over you. If you are all one, then the negative forces and all of these things are part of that whole. And so we have to start taking back that sovereignty as well. We have to start realizing those. I mean, I always love to say that the trigger is the doorway through. It's how you connect to yourself. It's how it like every time you get triggered, every time there's like a quote unquote spiritual attack or whatever you want to call it, that is your opportunity. It's actually not an attack. It's an initiation. And it's asking you, okay, you think you're connected? Are you going to act from that place? And right now we are going to see so many people that say they are connected, that tell you this is the way. If you find Christ, if you find this is the way, you're going to be connected. All of a sudden everything falls apart, but they're going to say, but I'm being attacked right now. The attack is the doorway. The attack is the doorway from you talking about being connected to actually living from being connected. And that's what we're being asked of right now. Not only in whatever your spiritual beliefs are, but in your life. You, I'm sure, are feeling called to step into your authenticity, whatever that looks like for you. Are you willing to pull off the masks that have kept you comfortable and kept you performing up until this point? Because those masks do not get to come with you. They don't get to come with you or you're not going to move forward. And then I found it so, and like, that's the difference for me between faith. Faith is the complete opposite of certainty. You have to be taking these masks off. You have to take like the leap of faith. I think really, if anybody knows tarot, the Fool card is chef's kiss. Like that, the integrated Fool card is everything. It is you before conditioning. It is you being fully divinely connected and not having the fear of just acting. And it doesn't mean you're not going to fall off the cliff sometimes. There's also that. Sometimes you fall off the cliff. But when you fall off the cliff, can you remember that you're still connected? That's part of the adventure that's leading you back into a better thing that you're supposed to have. So then after sitting with this and after sitting with like it in my face, not only in my own life, with my own moving and my own becoming, where I'm like, oh, yeah, I've been blocking this like hardcore. And having other people send me things where I'm like, oh my God, this is so obvious everywhere. Like everyone keeps talking the talk and not walking the walk. And when are we actually going to frickin' incarnate here? I pull up the liturgy this week and the gospel is Matthew 14, which in Matthew 14, Jesus sends the disciples ahead of him in a boat while he goes away by himself to pray. So while they're out there on the water, there's obviously a storm that comes in. The wind is against them. The waves are moving crazily. And they're struggling because they're in the initiation. And the initiation is the freaking point. And Jesus then starts coming toward them, walking on the water, and they don't recognize him. They are terrified. They think they're seeing a ghost. And then he essentially says to them, have courage. It's me. Don't be afraid. And Peter responds with, if it's really you, tell me to come to you on the water. And Jesus gives him one instruction and he says, come. And so Peter gets out of this boat and he walks on the fucking water. It works. That is your spiritual awakening. That is your connection to the divine. That is you in meditation. That is you, if you've done, I don't know, ayahuasca or whatever, that is your moment where you were like, oh my God, I'm connected. I'm walking on water. I'm like, we're all one. You feel it. You are connected. It freaking works. All of a sudden, everything clicks and it makes sense. And for a moment, Peter is participating in something that he couldn't even have previously understood because he's feeling it. He's in it. He's not sitting on the boat just believing it. He's actually experiencing it for himself. And then he notices the wind. He gets afraid and he starts to sink. That is what happens to each and every single one of us. We have these beautiful connections, these beautiful experiences. And the reason why you don't stabilize is that you think that because you have this one experience that all of a sudden life disappears and like it's all rainbows and unicorns. The real work is in building the capacity to stay. The real work is realizing that when you have a quote unquote spiritual attack or whatever you're calling it, that's the universe, that's God asking, do you really believe that you're connected? Are you going to stand firmly in that belief of who you think that you are, that we are all one, however you want to call it? Because the wind doesn't go away. It's never going to. People want to believe that if you do enough spiritual work that all of a sudden like, oh, I never have to do any shadow work again. I'm so divinely connected that it is all like rainbows and unicorns, but it's freaking not. It's never going to be rainbows and unicorns all the time. It's the ability for you to stay present so that you connect heaven to earth is how I like to see it. So that you feel the trigger and you become the open vessel that can feel it and you can come back into alignment faster and faster so that you don't notice the wind as much. It's not that the wind disappears, is that you stand firmly in the initiation and you move on to the next one, whatever that's going to be. Maybe it's like a whole hurricane. Sometimes it's a whole hurricane. Sometimes you're like, what the F? But that's what's really being asked of us, not just the liturgy and not just the astrology, but like just let's like look at the lesson in and of itself. We are being asked to not just talk about our beliefs, to not just create beautiful content around them and have amazing carousels and reels and talk the talk, but we're being asked to walk it. We're being asked to remove the masks, to stand firmly in your authenticity and to trust, to have faith that you are connected. That's the disconnect here. And it's going to get really effing loud in the next 18 months with this South Node and North Node. It's going to get so loud that you're going to have to stop idolizing all of these people that you think had the answers. And you're going to have to start realizing that it was always within you. You're going to have to start connecting with yourself. Not that I think people, beautiful. Wisdom is beautiful. Listen to the wisdom. Take what resonates here today and leave what doesn't. Because I do not have all the answers and neither does anyone else. But it's going to get uncomfortable because you're going to have to start to realize that those people that you've been putting on pedestals that have hundreds of thousands of followers, a lot of them aren't walking the walk either. A lot of them have masks to take off. And that shouldn't tell you that those people are wrong. That should tell you that we are all human. And that we're all here meant to connect back with ourselves. That should tell you that, oh, wait, they're on the same level as me. They're not actually as high on the pedestal. There is no hierarchy here. We're all here in the same experience. We're all here connecting to that divinity. But then the real truth is when you do have these beautiful, spectacular moments of spiritual connection, whatever they look like for you, however they manifest, whether it's a vision, a dream, anything, whatever it is, when you have these moments, the only way to stabilize them, the only way to bring them into light is through the initiation, is through the storm, is through, oh shit, I think I'm having a spiritual attack. Huh, wait a second. I can't be having a spiritual attack. I just had this beautiful experience where we're all connected and all one. Then that means what the spiritual attack that I'm having is actually part of me. Can I go in? And then in terms of not turning this into a thing where I'm like, okay, now let's just do shadow work every single day and we're constantly looking for problems. Let's zoom out and take it back into, let's zoom in maybe, not out. Let's take it back to daily life. You know, it should be about you connecting to the present moment and meeting the trigger, the doorway I'm telling you, that is the best thing I could have possibly done, is realize that, oh, God, universe, source is going to give me everything I'm ready to see in the moment. I actually don't have to go looking for all the shadow work that I need. I don't need to uh, buy the next amazing. I mean, I love teaching you guys how we do shadow work and pattern recognition. I'm not saying I didn't love creating human Jesus, and if you want to do it, great. But what I'm saying is meet the moments. Understand how to do shadow work. Absolutely. If you've got no idea what I mean about shadow work, you should probably do human Jesus. But if you know what I mean when I'm saying meeting the trigger, learning to stay in the emotion, being curious about why it's there, and staying anyways, integrating that part of you. And integrating that part of you for me means I understand where it's coming from. Can I keep acting from this place where that is no longer running the show? Having actionable steps as well. It's not just like, oh, I understand why I'm doing this. Okay, but what are you going to do about it? Because that's part of the initiation and that's part of walking on the water. It's part of walking the talk. So that is a big question this week. What kind of masks are we taking off? Where are we telling ourselves in our lives that we believe one thing, but our actions are not the same? When you have this beautiful experience and you're like, yeah, I believe that we're all one, or I believe, that it's all love and whatever it is. When you turn that camera off, or when you walk away from your friends and you're alone in the kitchen with, for me, my screaming children in my face, and it's a Tuesday morning and everybody's exhausted because our AC is broken, am I still living from that place of connection, of love? Because if I'm not, then there's a disconnect there. I might understand that we're all one, but I'm not living from that place. So that is that is the loud theme of both the liturgy and the astrology this week. Um, we're going to take a few minutes here and we're just going to do a little bit of breath work. We're going to get a little bit curious. We're going to go into our own bodies and get a little bit curious about, where are you putting the performance on? Where are you not connecting to your beliefs? And when you get curious about that, you start to see, okay, you know, if I'm saying we're all one, but I'm having a spiritual attack and I now can't connect to that one because of the spiritual attack, what is the belief there? What is the underlying belief? It's not that we're all one. It's maybe that you are not connected to source in some way, or not worthy. You're not, whatever it is. So we're going to get a little bit curious. I'm going to invite you guys to find a nice, comfortable position wherever you are. We're going to close our eyes for this one. Get comfy. Let your body just soften. I definitely invite you to close your eyes because it's so much easier to go in and be introspective. And I want you now to just begin noticing your breath. We don't want to change anything yet. I just want you to notice the rise and the fall of your chest. Noticing how your breath is just easily moving through you without you even having to ask. You're divinely held. Notice what your body's doing right now. Is it tight? Is it holding something? And now we're going to begin breathing slowly in through the nose for 5 and exhaling out through the mouth for 5. In for 5, out for 5. In and out. And for the next few moments, I want you to just continue in this breath pattern. Inhaling, exhaling, and just become connected. You don't have to perform here today. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're just going to allow a little more breath in, a little more than you're used to taking in. And I want you now to just bring your attention back to the the question, the theme that we're exploring today. What do you know? What is your belief? Not what have you been told, not what has somebody taught you or what you have memorized from a book. I want you to ask yourself, what is something that you have experienced so deeply that in that moment you knew it had to be true? Maybe you've experienced God. Maybe you've experienced this beautiful divine moment where you know you're absolutely supported and connected. Maybe you've had a glimpse of sovereignty. Maybe you've experienced unconditional love, the kind that makes tears just flow from your face because you know you're so loved. Maybe you've touched an understanding that we are all connected. Maybe for an instant you know that you are enough, that you are safe, that you can trust yourself, that there's something larger moving through you. I don't want you to search for the right answer. Just let the belief, that knowing, that deep inner knowing, that through line that is just yours come to the surface. And just keep breathing slowly in through the nose, out through the mouth. I want you to remember what it felt like when you knew before you needed to explain it, before you needed anyone else to agree with you. There was simply this full bodied knowing. This is your moment on the water where you've stepped onto the water and you are held. You're walking on water. You've stepped out of everything that you thought was possible until that point into this moment. You walked on water. I want you to keep breathing here because eventually that moment faded and you had to return to life. Maybe the meditation ended, your ceremony ended, the breakthrough was gone, and Monday morning showed up fiercely. Someone said something, money got tight, a relationship changed, maybe you were rejected. Your body became afraid and you couldn't see what was going to happen next. So the wind came back. I want you to ask yourself, where do I stop living according to what I say that I know? Where do my actions contradict my beliefs? Where do I say I trust God, I trust the universe, but live as though everything depends entirely on me? Where do I say I trust myself? But immediately I go and I look for someone else's permission, someone else to confirm. Where do I tell myself I'm sovereign while fully believing, behaving as though another person has authority over my own internal world? This isn't about catching yourself doing something wrong. It's about finding the wind. Just allow your breath to deepen, go a little bit deeper now. In and out. Stay connected. Stay steady. Let your body answer here before your mind does. What am I afraid would happen if I actually lived according to what I believe? If you completely trusted yourself, were you afraid would happen? What do you think is going to change? Stay with the breath. Slow in, slow out. We're going to go underneath that answer that you just found. If that happened, what would that mean? And what's underneath that answer? What are you actually afraid of? Keep breathing here. 5 seconds in through the nose, 5 seconds out through the mouth. Keep breathing slowly, staying connected. We're not here to fix anything or argue with the answers. Just witness them. Because somewhere underneath the belief you consciously have chosen, there is still probably an older belief that continues to run your body. Maybe it's I'm alone, I'm not safe, I have to earn love, there isn't enough. Someone else there knows better than me. Whatever came through here today, let it be here. And we're going to ask ourselves one more question. What have I accidentally given more authority to than the truth that I say that I believe? That's your wind, your own unique wind. Again, just coming back to the breath, slowly breathing in through the nose, a longer breath out through the mouth now. I want you to place your body, your hands somewhere on your body that feels supported. Maybe it's your heart, maybe it's your belly, wherever your hand wants to go. This is Peter noticing the wind. And when he notices the wind, he sank. But that sinking doesn't erase the fact that moments earlier he walked on water. The fear that comes afterwards doesn't invalidate that moment. Maybe you need to hear that too. The wind does not mean you were wrong about the water, that you were wrong about your beliefs. The fear that appears after your awakening does not necessarily mean that it wasn't real. The shadow that appears doesn't mean that you went backwards. Maybe the wind is just showing you where the revelation hasn't quite become embodied yet. Slowly coming back to your body, starting to notice your fingers, your toes, giving them a little wiggle. I want you to take one final breath in here, knowing that you are safe, you are held, you are connected, and the wind is still going to be here. Slowly opening your eyes, coming back into the room whenever you're ready to do so. Thank you for joining me here today. I will be doing this again. I'm going to drop the live on Instagram and open up the discussion here in the community.